You know, if you want the drawings in your sketchbook to look better, and I mean pretty much right away, one of the easiest things that you can do is to stop thinking about the drawing for a minute and to think instead about the page that it's sitting on. Because you can add some writing, or you can put a caption underneath a drawing, or you can draw letters all around the something, or you can just let the things on the page have something to do with each other. And any of those things is going to change how that whole page reads. Same drawing, but now it just has somewhere to live. I made a video about this a while back, about how it helps to think of your sketchbook as a book or as a magazine that you're designing just for yourself. And quite a few of you wrote back and said, that's great, but how do you actually do it? Which is fair enough. So I thought, I'll just show you. So remember, a page in a sketchbook doesn't have to be only about drawing. It can be about making things and playing around and just seeing what happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few pages from my sketchbook and I'm going to show you how I built them, what my process was, what I was thinking about, and then you're going to see how infinite the possibilities are. There's no one right way of doing this. There's no set of rules, there's no guidebook, there's no grades, there's no marking. It's all fun and experimentation, but there's a few things that you should think about when you're doing it, and I'm going to take you through and show you what my process has been so you can come up with your own. And you know, I should probably admit that I'm not a designer. I didn't go to design school. I don't know the terminology, and if you ask me to give you some set of rules or correct methodology or what kind of grid you use or what kind of protractor, compass, and ruler you should buy, I don't know. But the fact is, we all look at books and magazines and posters and packaging and websites all the time. And I think we've absorbed all kinds of stuff from doing this that now you can tap into. You can actually repurpose the stuff that you've done. So when I'm working on a page, it's mostly gut. It's just my instinct. It kind of looks right or it doesn't look right. And then I have to keep playing and doing stuff. And I've kind of hesitated to make this video for a while because I've been trying to figure out, how do I actually explain that to you? How do I give you my gut? I think I've figured out some ways to talk about it, so that'll make it clearer. Usually what I do is I just plunk down my pen on the page and I just start to draw something. And then when I've done that drawing and there's some other room for other stuff, I do another drawing somewhere else and see how that relates. And because there's still blank page stuff to play with, I do some more drawing or some lettering or an arrow or a frame or a little guy pointing, whatever it is, to just kind of make it all feel balanced. There's an infinite number of elements that we can use to make these connections. So let me just show you a page and how I build it so that you can see. I just open my page and I plunk down and do a drawing of a stormy day. And then I add a little bit of watercolor to it, some blues. Then I write a little note about it underneath. Next, I'm having a chat with a friend and on Zoom, so I do a drawing of him as we're doing it. And then I keep that same blue color going, so now they're connected, and I write a little note about that. Now we still have this empty space here, so I'm thinking I'm doing blue, might as well do some Windex. And then I write about how our cleaning lady came to clean our house. So there's that whole page. It's all connected by shapes, by color, and by text. Next up, I want to do something kind of different on the other page, but still related. So I draw some lemons in a steel bowl. And then I color it bright yellow, contrasting. And then I put down a couple of little notes and an arrow. I just got a bunch of colorful new cartridges from my Lamius fountain pen, and they made a rainbow. And then I wrote a little description. There's connections and there's also contrasts, but they all fit together and they make an interesting combination. This is one way of designing this page, but there are an infinite number of different ways that we could rearrange those elements, or we could rearrange them again into a completely different space and shape. It can go on and on and on. All right, let's try something new. I'm going to do a drawing in the corner of this page of a beer bottle. It's rectangular and it's cross-hatched. So next to it, I draw something completely different, but it reminds me of the shape. It's a fire hydrant. And then I do a drawing of a man from a photo. And I add little text elements to tell the stories of having lunch with some friends, and then an art project my son's doing. Then I add another element, a drawing of Robert Crumb, one of my favorite artists. And then I drew a drawing of a Sharpie and explain why I don't really use them. And then finally, a drawing of a tube of paint. As you can see, there's some white space all the way on the right. I started this page years ago, and I have yet to finish it, so it may just stay empty. The next page is from a travel journal. There was a painting of this guy in our hotel room, so I copied it and wrote his story. Then we saw a band playing in the lobby of the hotel, Todd Paisley and Jason. They were called Pickled Okra. I was drinking a beer that night, so I did a drawing of the Terminator Stout. The next day was day 2, so I drew my wife doing a creative writing exercise over breakfast while we ate this ginormous cinnamon roll. Here we have a blank page again, and I'm going to start by just simply drawing my shoe. It's actually a pair of shoes that I shared with my son, so I decided to tell that story, and here it is underneath. Next I drew our feet, mine and my son's, and then I added a bit of text, and I even wrote down the lyrics of the great Elvis song, "You can knock me down, step on my face, slam my name all over the place, do anything you're gonna do, just lay off of my blue suede shoes." Okay, so there are a few things that you might want to note down. Up to you. I don't have a PDF for you to download. I'm just going to kind of vamp and tell you that one of the things I think that connects a page is just the style of the drawings. You're doing them perhaps at around the same time, so they just have some connections. You're in that same moment, that same set of flow. So that's why if you're paying the same amount of concentration, you'll probably get drawings that feel like they're connected. But you might also want to say, I'm just going to use cross-hatching, or I'm just going to use cross-hatching in a certain direction, or I'm just going to use a certain color to connect them. I'm going to limit my palette, and I'm just going to use blues, or just blues and oranges, or just blues or oranges and greens, whatever. I'm just going to make some kind of connections that you can look at, and you can immediately see these things feel like they're connected to each other. And then there's the writing. It's a graphic element as well. It could be in columns, it could be in boxes, it could wrap around the thing. It's text that says something, but even what it says most of the time doesn't really matter. It's really more what it looks like on the page. And then there's the arrows and the little funny call-outs and the rules that you draw around the boxes, or there's the outlines that you put that are maybe heavy or exaggerated, or there's all kinds of additional graphic elements that you have to play with that you can use to make a fantastic page out of mediocre drawing. And look, if any of this is something that you'd like to learn more about, I do have a course on keeping an illustrated journal. Thousands of people have taken this course, and they're now keeping illustrated journals and having a great time doing it. You don't need to be able to draw particularly well. You may never have even kept a journal before, but this is just a way of doing simple exercises one day at a time, getting in the practice to draw better, getting in the practice to design your pages, to write cool stuff, to be an artist every day of your life by carrying around a little book with you. And by the end of it, your sketchbook becomes your diary, your laboratory, your art studio, your playground. There's more about it below if you're curious. But the main thing about this is you don't have to follow any kind of rules. There's nothing to be worked out in advance. It's just a form of play and experimentation and creative development, problem solving as you go. You do a drawing and then you figure out what connects to it. You do some writing and you express yourself. You make some mistakes in drawing or in writing, and you admit it. You make a mark that says, I screwed this up. It's fine. You're taking an ordinary drawing and you're making it into something special. That's really all there is to it. And you can do it with a pen and whatever's sitting in front of you. And nobody's going to ever see any of it unless you decide to show it to them. So you can make a total hash out of a page. And the worst thing is that, I don't know, you turn over and start a new page. You can do this. You can have fun making art. I promise.